Welcome you all for Jumble online classes. So yesterday we started the chapter. So system of in this rotation system of particles and rotational motion. Till yesterday we studied theorems of moment of inertia. So two theorems are there. One is a parallel axis theorem and other is a perpendicular axis theorem. Then today we will see so moment of inertia of some regular bodies, and we will calculate the moment of inertia of those regular bodies about a different axes. So this class is very important, especially for objective point of view. Even this whatever the topic we are discussing, that we discuss for regular PU classes also. So we will make one tabular column. So that tabular column is very important. If you want to do any numerical based on this moment of inertia, everyone must have to know regarding this complete tabular column. There is no other alternative. So derivation not necessary. Just you need to remember. So what are the moment of inertia of different regular bodies? Okay now. So let us calculate moment of inertia of some regular bodies. So regular bodies in the sense which having a uniform mass distribution. Always remember, whenever mass is uniform, so then whatever center of mass will coincide with the geometric center. Then for some regular bodies, let me calculate the moment of inertia. I also will make one tabular column like what we did in regular class. So serial number and what about the body, which regular body we are considering, that is. Then so what is the concerned axis of rotation? About which axis of rotation we are calculating the moment of inertia. Then the concerned diagram. So how can we represent the diagram value? Then we want what is the expression for moment of inertia and what is the expression for radius of gyration. So I made one tabular column. I am making one tabular column with these options. So serial number and what is the body and what is the axis of rotation. So what is the concerned diagram value and moment of inertia value and radius of gyration. So first I will consider. First one. So all are uniform, remember always. Every time I will not mention. All are of uniform. Think first body, think circular disc of mass m, capital M, and radius capital R. I want to calculate moment of inertia of this body. So about which axis? I will show axis, different axes by this arrow. First I will write about an axis perpendicular to plane of the. Here what we consider, first I will write before the circular disc, I will write for circular ring, then I will write circular disc. Perpendicular to plane of the ring, passing through center of the ring. If you want to understand, so diagram, one circular ring I am considering, about which axis, about an axis passing through center. So this is circular ring. About an axis passing through center perpendicular to plane on the diagram. So you can see actually this dotted line is axis of rotation. How does it appear? It is there on the plane of the ball, but actually that is the axis perpendicular to plane like this. Okay. So what is the expression for moment of inertia? That is given by I is equal to m into r square. Derivation not necessary, but after writing the total all bodies, one or two derivations also needed. So I is equal to m into r square. Okay. Then what is the radius of gyration? We know. So in terms of moment of inertia, in terms of radius of gyration, I is equal to m into k square. In place of k square, what is that? R square. So what is k value is equal to r. So what is k will gives us? K will gives us the which value? So it will gives us the radius of gyration. About which axis this is expression? Perpendicular to plane passing through center. passing through the center of the ring. Second application. So about a tangential axis, about which axis? Tangential axis perpendicular to plane. Perpendicular to the plane. What I am considering? Circular ring only about a tangential axis. Before already we know what is the moment of inertia about an axis passing through center. The moment of inertia about an axis passing through center nothing but passing through center of mass. That value I see. I know moment of inertia about this axis. I want to calculate moment of inertia about this axis. What is the perpendicular distance between these two axes? That is exactly equal to R. I know IC value is equal to mr square. I want to calculate I value. Whenever the two axes are parallel, yesterday class we discussed which theorem I need to apply? Parallel axis theorem. According to parallel axis theorem, what is the value of I? Here only I value is equal to IC plus capital M into D square. IC value mr square plus capital M into D square value R square. So what will be the final expression given by I value is equal to 2E into capital M into R square, right? So here we apply parallel axis theorem. Everyone must know how to apply the parallel axis theorem. Then so I value is equal to mr square plus mr square. Then what I get the answer? Which value will be given by 2 into m into r square. Okay. This one no need of writing. Just diagram is enough. So 2m r square. Then what is the radius of gyration? In place of k square, 2m r square is there. So root 2 into r is the radius of gyration. Expression for moment of inertia about a axis which is tangential to the circular ring and perpendicular to plane. Similarly, third axis. So that is about any diameter. About any diameter. So diameter also axis. But what is the difference? Diameter will be there along the which one? So it is of circular ring. Diameter will be there. These two diameters are there. This is one. This is one. And one more important point is so moment of inertia about any diameter will be same because it is a symmetrical shape. For the symmetrical bodies, moment of inertia about any diameter value will be same. But what is the difference between the first axis and this axis? This axis is perpendicular to plane, passing through center. Two diameters also passing through center, but lying on the plane. I know moment of inertia about a perpendicular axis. I want to calculate the moment of inertia about the two axes which are on the plane. Then again, which theorem I can apply? Perpendicular axis theorem. Can I apply here? So according to the perpendicular axis theorem, what will get Iz? Iz value is equal to Ix plus Iy. But here Ix value is equal to Iy value is equal to R. When both are equal means whenever the body is symmetrical, moment of inertia about x-axis and y-axis both are same. So then what can I write? Ix is equal to Iy is equal to I. Then what will get Iz? Iz value is equal to 2 into I. So what will get I value? Iz by 2. Iz value perpendicular to plane passing through center mr square by 2. Therefore, what is the expression for moment of inertia? I value will be equal to so mr square by 2. Always remember whenever perpendicular to plane is given, if you want to calculate about an axis lying on the plane, then it will be exactly half of the value. So mr square by 2. And what is the concern radius of gyration? So that value given by r by root 2. How will we calculate? Compare this with the standard equation m k square. So k value is equal to how much? R by 2. Understood? How I calculated by using which theorem? Perpendicular axis theorem. So two theorems I applied. So calculating for this, I applied a parallel axis theorem. For calculating for this, I applied a perpendicular axis theorem. Then the last one is about any tangent, about an axis, about any tangent. So in the plane of the ring, in the plane. So what I want to calculate? this is our circular ring. Now I want to calculate moment of inertia about a tangent which lies on the plane. But remember, these both are not same. Here it is perpendicular to plane. Here it is on the plane. Or otherwise, can I write about a tangent in the plane mean? So this one can I write? Okay. Now you tell me, I know moment of inertia about a diameter. I want to calculate about a tangential axis. So this value I know. I want to calculate this value. It is also passing through center of mass only, na? This theorem I can apply. Parallel axis theorem. What is the distance value? R. Then what is the formula? I is equal to IC plus m into d square. What is IC value? Moment of inertia about an axis passing through center and in the plane, which is mr square by 2 plus mr square. So after simplification, what I get? 3 by 2 into mr square. So what is the value of I value? 3 by 2 into m into r square. Right? What is the radius of variation value? That is root 3 by 2 into r square. Again, which theorem I applied? I applied the theorem of parallel axis theorem. Twice I applied parallel axis theorem and once I applied perpendicular axis theorem. So give you total moment of inertia of a circular ring about a different axis of rotation. Whenever if any question is based on the circular ring, first you have to check about which axis. About an axis passing through center perpendicular to plane, about an axis passing through center in the plane, about an axis tangential, so perpendicular to plane, about an axis tangential, so in the plane. These are the 4 cases which are related with which one? Related with the circular ring. So first one, understood now? So second one, after completion of the circular ring, now we will consider thin circular disc of radius of mass capital M, radius capital M. Here about which axis? Perpendicular to plane and passing through center. So I will consider this side only one axis. Passing through center. What is the difference between the circular ring and circular disc? Circular ring is hollow. Circular disc is nothing but let us consider one circular coin. So that will come under circular disc. So mass will be there everywhere. Whereas for the circular ring, mass will be there only on the ring. So then the moment of inertia is given by the value I value is equal to how much? I value is equal to mr square by 2. Remembering also very easy. When you can remember the moment of inertia of a circular ring, the circular disc moment of inertia value will be half of the value of circular ring, mr square by 2. What is the radius of gyration? R by root 2. Once again I am telling, to calculate the radius, the given equation should be compared with the I is equal to m into k square. So k value R divided by root 2. This is for moment of inertia of the circular ring. If you want to calculate about any axis, that can be calculated like how we calculated it for circular ring. Okay, so let us suppose one more axis. I want to calculate about an axis passing through center and lying in the plane. Passing through center and on the plane. So how can I calculate on the plane? Or otherwise I can also call it as, so about any diameter. About any diameter, moment of inertia value, it is exactly half of the value of perpendicular to plane. So which is given by mr square by 4. Correct? Which theorem we need to apply? Perpendicular axis theorem. According to the perpendicular axis theorem, Iz value is equal to Ix value, Iy value will be 2 times 2i. Then I value is equal to Iz by 2. Iz value mr square by 2. Then what will be the answer? Mr square by 4. If I want to calculate the moment of inertia about a tangent perpendicular to plane, again which theorem? Parallel axis theorem. So mr square by 2 plus mr square. 3 by 2 mr square. If I want to calculate about an axis, so tangential axis in the plane, so how will I get a parallel axis theorem? Parallel axis theorem, so IC plus m into d square. About any axis you can calculate. Understood? So this is for a circular disc of mass m and radius r. So second case is. After completion of the second case, so third case. I'm not writing all this because you know similarly having calculated for circular ring, in the same manner we want to calculate for a circular disc about different axes. What are the two other axes? Know that now? So third case. I will consider a third case is moment of inertia of A. So circular ring is over, circular disc is over. Moment of inertia of A. So hollow cylinder. Hollow cylinder of mass capital M, radius capital R, length capital M. Okay? About its natural axis. About which axis? Natural axis or its axis of symmetry. About a natural axis means hollow cylinder. So this is called as an axis which is passing through center and parallel to the cylinder of length value L, radius value R. So this is the axis of rotation. The moment of inertia value will be same as that of circular ring, which is given by m. Then radius of gyration value will be equal to r. Understood now? About which axis? Natural axis. Next. So if I want to calculate about an axis tangential, about a tangential axis of point of contact of cylinder with the ground. So what I will get? I need to draw a tangent. That is the tangent drawn at the point of contact of cylinder with the ground. So showing the axis with the dotted lines. I know moment of inertia about this axis. I want to calculate moment of inertia about this axis. Which theorem will apply? Parallel axis theorem. I value is equal to IC plus m into d square. Correct? IC value m r square plus IC value will be equal to how much? M r square plus what will get the answer? M into d square. Now this is m into r square. Finally, what will get the answer is 2 into m r square. By applying this theorem, by applying the theorem of which one? Parallel axis. What is the answer here is? Here answer is given by. So 2 into m r square. What is the radius of gyration value? Root 2 into r. So second axis is over. Third, about an axis passing through center and perpendicular to length. Then this is our hollow cylinder. Now I want to calculate. So this is general natural axis. Center it is. About an axis passing through center and perpendicular to length. So what I get? Moment of inertia expression given by. So m into. So L square by 12 plus R square by 2. Because here length also needed to consider. Total length of the cylinder is L. About an axis passing through center, perpendicular to length will become m into L square by 12 plus R square by 2. Then the radius of gyration value given by root over L square by 12 plus R square by 2. Understood now? So this is regarding the moment of inertia of a cylinder about an axis passing through center and perpendicular to length. If I want to calculate the moment of inertia about an axis passing through perpendicular, passing through one end, which theorem I need to apply? Perpendicular axis, parallel axis theorem. By applying the parallel axis theorem, we will get the answer. So m into L square by 3 here again, plus R square by 2. Here only I am writing the moment of inertia about this axis value, m into L square by 3 plus R square by 2. Why it is of L square by 3? What is the distance between these two axes? Will be of L by 2. I know moment of inertia about this axis. So to calculate the moment of inertia about this axis, apply parallel axis theorem. Then you will get this axis. Understood? So this is regarding which one now? Hollow cylinder of mass m, radius capital R, and length value L. Okay? Then, so fourth one is solid cylinder this time. Solid, uniform solid cylinder of mass m, radius R, length L. Clear? About its natural axis. What is the difference of solid cylinder? So everywhere mass is there. About a natural axis. Natural axis is passing through center, right? So parallel to length. What I get answer is mr square by 2. Exactly half of the value of this cylinder, hollow cylinder. Radius of variation value r divided by 2. Similarly, the remaining all also you can calculate. If I want to calculate about a tangent, so if I want to calculate about a tangent, then I need to apply which theorem? Parallel axis theorem. So what I will get? Mr square by 2 plus mr square. So I will get the answer of 3 by 2 mr square. Radius of variation value given by root 3 by 2 into r. Correct? If I want to calculate moment of inertia of the cylinder, so same, remaining all also same. But what is the difference between last case and this case? Last case we considered with the cylinder, hollow cylinder. In this case we are considered with the cylinder, so solid cylinder. Understood now? So this is fourth one. So next to fifth one. So what we will consider is cylinder is over now. Then we will consider a sphere, hollow sphere. Then we will write a solid sphere. Applications of parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem is very important. When you know moment of inertia about one axis, to calculate the moment of inertia about another axis, you will use either parallel axis theorem or perpendicular axis theorem. So fifth one is uniform hollow cylinder of hollow sphere of mass capital M, radius capital R. So about its natural or diametrical axis of rotation. So if I consider one sphere, about its any axis which is about its diametrical axis. The moment of inertia value given by 2 by 3 mr square. Radius of variation value given by root 2 by 3 into r. If I want to calculate the moment of inertia about a tangential axis in the plane, if I draw a tangent, so I know about this axis, I want to calculate about this axis. Distance is given by r. I know this value IC. So according to this theorem, parallel axis theorem, what I will get? I value is equal to IC plus mr square. So 2 by 3 mr square plus mr square. I will get the answer 5 by 3 mr square. Radius of direction value given by root over 5 by 3 into r. Understood? This is for which one now? hollow sphere of mass m and radius r. After completion of the hollow sphere, same case for sixth one we will consider is for solid sphere, uniform solid sphere of mass m and radius r. About which axis? About an axis, about its natural or diametrical axis. In case of solid sphere, so mass will be distributed everywhere. Expression for moment of inertia given by 2 by 5 mr square. Radius of gyration root over 2 by 5 into r. Understood? Then if I want to calculate about a tangent, so what is the radius of gyration? Moment of inertia value 2 by 5 mr square plus mr square. So what I get the answer is of 7 by 5 mr square. According to which theorem? Parallel axis theorem. Then so what I get the answer is 12 by 7 root over 7 by 5 into r. Now this is for this cylinder, this sphere, solid sphere of mass m and radius r. After completion of the sixth one, so seventh one is so what is the seventh one is think uniform rod of length capital L, mass capital L. About which axis is? About an axis passing through center and perpendicular to length. So what is the diagram? This is a rod length L about an axis passing through center perpendicular to length. The expression for moment of inertia I is equal to ml square by 12. If you want, we can derive this. So this one I will derive. All bodies we can derive. Now derivation not necessary for us. So that value will be given by ml square by 2 about an axis passing through center and perpendicular to length. Second one, about an axis passing through one end and perpendicular to length. Perpendicular to which one? Length. So what is the moment of inertia? Diagram. This is the rod. This is passing about this axis, passing through one end and perpendicular to length. Already we know about this axis. This is about an axis passing through center. This value I see, then this value I see. So what is the distance between the two axes? L by 2. Which theorem can I apply? Parallel axis theorem. What is IC? I value IC plus m into d square. IC value ml square by 12 plus m into d square value ml square by 4. You simplify this, you will get the answer. I value is equal to ml square by 3 by adding this. By using this theorem, parallel axis theorem. Then what is the radius of gyration value given by? Here radius of gyration is L by root 12. Here radius of gyration is L by root 3. That is for moment of inertia. Now you tell me moment of inertia about which axis will be greater, which axis will be smaller. About an axis passing through center. Always remember, moment of inertia about an axis passing through center of mass will be of least value. So this is for thin uniform rod. After completion of this, next one. So uniform circular plate. So not circular. First we will write for rectangular plate. Eighth one is a uniform rectangular plate. A rectangular plate of length capital L, breadth, I will call length value small l, breadth value d, and mass value capital M. So I want to calculate about an axis passing through center perpendicular to plane. So what is a rectangular plane about an axis passing through center perpendicular to plane? Moment of inertia given by I is equal to m into, so what I get the answer is L square plus B square by 12. Radius of variation value root over L square plus B square by 12. This is for rectangular plane. If I want to calculate moment of inertia about any other axis, then I can apply this theorem, parallel axis theorem. This is for a rectangular plate of length L, breadth B, and mass M. So last module we will discuss is ninth one, a square plate of moment of inertia of a square plate of length L, mass M, about an axis passing through center perpendicular to plane. This is the square plate about an axis passing through center perpendicular to plane. What is the difference between square and rectangle? L is equal to B. When L is equal to B, here what will get? 2L square by 12. So you get the answer of m into L square by 6, whose radius of variation value L divided by root 6. L divided by which one? Root 6. About this axis. If I want to calculate about an axis passing through center, in the plane of the square plane. If I consider about an axis, this time the axis should be lying on the plane of this circle of this square plane. According to this theorem, perpendicular axis theorem, so that value will be exactly half of the value of perpendicular to axis, that is P ml square by 12, whose radius of variation given by L by root 12. So like this we can calculate the moment of inertia about an axis. Which one now? About an axis perpendicular to plane and passing through corner, any one corner or edge. So what does it mean? Moment of inertia. So I know about an axis passing through which one? Passing through center perpendicular to plane. I want to calculate moment of inertia about an axis passing through one corner. So this is the axis passing through corner. What if it is perpendicular means what is moment of inertia about an axis passing through center perpendicular to plane value? This will become IC. Then this value will be equal to R. What about this distance value will be equal to square diagonal value root 2 into L. This value L by root 2. So what will get the answer is given by I value IC value ml square by 6 plus m into, so what is the distance value given by L by root 2? So ml square by 2. Then LCM value will be 6. So what I get 4 by 6 ml square. After total simplification, The answer is 1 by 2 by 3 into ml square, whose radius of gyration root 2 by 3 into L. Understood now? Root of 2 by 3 into its value into L. In this way, we can calculate the moment of inertia of any moment. But till now we have not discussed any. So one point also to derive. How can we derive? We take any one example. So using in that example we will see how to calculate the moment of inertia. Anyone you can do. So I will take the example to understand easily. So thin uniform rod. What is the moment of inertia of a thin uniform rod about an axis passing through center perpendicular to length value? Let me calculate. This tabular column is very important. Without knowing this tabular column, single question also cannot be able to do. Okay, based on this concept of moment of inertia. I want to calculate the moment of inertia of a thin uniform rod of length L. Length how much? L, capital length L, and mass M, mass capital. About which axis I want to calculate? Axis of rotation is about an axis passing through center. This is our rod length value L. I want to calculate the moment of inertia of the rod about an axis passing through center. This axis dividing the rod into two equal parts of length L by 2 L. So to calculate the moment of inertia, uniform rod is uniform mass distribution. Then we can go with the integration. Okay, we will use integration. So let me consider one element of the rod. This element of length value of dx, which is at a distance x from the axis of rotation. The moment of inertia of this element, any one moment of inertia definition, product of the mass with the square of the distance. So what is mass per unit length? So total mass of the rod is m. What is mass per unit length? This mass per unit length value, that is given by how much? Capital M by L. So what is the mass of the element? Mass of the element. What is that element length value? Element of length. What we call the length value there? Dx. Element of length dx value how much? Which is capital M by L into dx. Correct? Now what is moment of inertia? Element mass dm into x square. Can I call this element and mass value dm into x square? Then what I get? dm is equal to dm value how much? Capital M by L into dx into x square. This is the moment of inertia of the one small element. How can I calculate the total moment of inertia of the rod? By dividing this total rod into number of elements. I want to calculate the moment of inertia of each element by adding. Whenever the elements are infinitely very smaller, then we can go with the integration. If the number of elements are infinite, integration. If the number of elements are finite, we go with the summation. If I want to calculate I, so integration of dA. Integration limits this element may be of this side or this side. If it is of this side, maximum distance value is L by 2. This side means maximum distance L by 2, but minus L by 2. Here integration limits are lower limit is L by 2, upper limit is plus L by 2. Why I written minus limit? Left side of the origin, right side of the origin. So can I apply integration value? I value is equal to integration of minus L by 2 to plus L by 2 into what is dI value? Capital M by L into x square into dx. I can bring which one outside? M by L value outside. Within the integration, minus L by 2 to plus L by 2 into what will get answer? X square into dx. Correct? So what will get I value is equal to M by L. Integration of x power n formula, x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So what will get here x power 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1. Limits are given by minus L by 2 to plus L. So what will get I value is equal to m by, can I bring this 3 outside? So what will get answer? M by 3L into upper limit value x cube into minus L by 2 to plus L. Understood? Minus L by 2 to plus L. So remaining can I get here? I value is equal to m by 3L. Can I substitute the limits? So upper limit minus lower limit. Upper limit value L by 2 whole cube minus lower limit value minus of L by 2 whole cube. So what will get the final answer for I is equal to m divided by 3 into L. This is the value of L cube by 8. Minus into minus plus L cube by 8. So what will get answer? M by 3L into this is 2 into L cube by 8. Then 2 ones are 2 fours. 1 L cube here L square. So what is the final answer? M L square 3 fours are 12. This one only na? In tabular column once you check moment of inertia, which one? Of a rod of length L about an axis passing through center and perpendicular to plane. So that is given by ml square by 2. This is the method. Whatever the three now consider all are uniform bodies. For all uniform bodies, moment of inertia can be calculated by this method only. This method name is called as method of integration. Maximum till JEE mains NEET also. So calculation except for advanced level, you need to calculate about any axis. NEET level means even mains level also. Just you need to remember derivation not compulsory. But if for suppose if they ask also, derivation can be done. Understood? So this is regarding theorems of moment of inertia and moment of inertia of different regular bodies. Okay? So then we will continue remaining topic in the next class. Thank you.